everybody. I am Hollis. I'm the New York City site manager here at Step Up, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to our fourth and final session of Fly Together. I'm really sad to say that this is our last session, but I want to thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm so inspired by you for choosing Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday to be with us. So I want to welcome you all. And if you can, give us a hello in the chat. Tell us what your favorite part of Fly Together is so far, and where you're coming from too, where you're logging in from too. So as you know, before we get into anything, we want to just give you some reminders. So first, if you could make sure that you change how your name is labeled. So as you can see on the screen, there's Chelsea, team, and then your pronoun. So that's the first thing. We really need that to happen for the breakout groups a little bit later. And then if you can, please turn your camera on. I know we're not physically in person, but turning your camera on, especially today, really creates that feeling of intimacy that is so very special to us. And then also just want to give you the note that you're going to be on mute until we go into our breakout sessions, or we ask you to unmute. If you can just make sure that you're on mute until we get into the parts of the program where we need you not to be. And then finally, if you need support with anything at all during today's session, please feel free to put in the chat at Jess Mara. She will respond to you and support you if anything happens. But I think we're going to be in a good place. This is the last one. So now that we've gone over our reminders, I want to just touch on our community norms, our community agreements. In the first session, we got to spend some time together to co-create this community and ensure that we all feel our very best together in the sessions, excuse me. And this is your reminder that Step Up is a safe and brave space. So I'll just read through these one more time for us. The first we want to remember is patience. And I just want to say, over these 4 sessions, patience has definitely been needed, and I've received all of the patience. We know that glitches happen in a virtual landscape. So sometimes tech issues happen, but we just appreciate patience and extending grace to everyone. Our second one is step up, step back. So if you find yourself not volunteering, not sharing, we really want to hear from you. And today would be, or this evening would be, a wonderful time to do that, as it's the last session. And if you find yourself on the opposite end, always raising your hand, always the first, you want to step back so it gives room for others in the space to share out. And then finally, challenge yourself, keep an open mind, really push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's really, the only the only way that that we can grow together. As I said, I am so excited to be with you today and grateful that you showed up and you look eager and ready to dive into the next topic. But before we do that, let's spend a little bit of time just reviewing our last session, which was on self-regulation. So self-regulation is the awareness of yourself, your surroundings, the ability to manage your attention, emotions, behaviors in very goal-oriented ways. And that includes your cognitive, your emotional, your behavioral, and attentional regulation. And so then we have, self-regulation really allows you to manage your focus towards a particular objective. There are 2 elements of self-regulation, and the first is going to be self-control, and then the other one is going to be self-awareness. And self-control might mean, delaying gratification. So instead of eating dessert before your dinner, you're going to wait. And it means impulse control. So instead of just online shopping, and I know, December is the time that we do that, and clicking away, you think about that first and go through, is this something that I really need? Self-control can also look like, staying inside to focus on a task, which can be really helpful, especially now with, I'm sure you all have finals coming up. Excuse me, to set yourself up for success, or doing your homework, or applying to internships or college programs. And it's an awareness that the conscious focusing of your attention can be directed towards different objects, different goals, and people to help you understand yourself better and how you interact with others in your environment. So now that we got a little refresher, let's go ahead and practice it. And I am excited to pass the mic to Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here with us today. So for our icebreaker today, we're going to do a grounding exercise. Some of you may have done something similar or done this exact grounding exercise before. So on the screen, you will see the instructions. It's called the 5 senses grounding exercise. And the idea is that we take this time to connect with ourselves and self-regulate. So first, let's all get into a comfortable position. If you're in bed, go ahead and, you could lay down or sit comfortably. If you're in a chair, go ahead and, relax. You can rest your shoulders. If you need to put your head on the desk, you can. If you want to turn your camera off to feel a little more comfortable, go for it. So once you're kind of in that comfortable position, we want to just focus on our breathing, focus on just breathing in and out. Make sure each breath is deep and even, and that's all we really need to do right now. Just breathe in and out and just be calm. And now what I want you to do is, if you put your head down, lift up your head. You're kind of laying, kind of look around your room. And I want you to point out 5 things that you can see around you, making sure that your breath is still even, you're still breathing. And the 5 things can be, your desk, a phone, a pen, the wall, just anything you see. Now I want you to identify 4 things you can touch. This can be, if you're sitting, this could be the floor on your feet or your back resting against your seat. If you're on the bed, maybe you're using a blanket, it could be that. Maybe you have your phone in your hand, it could be that too. And keeping, that same breath going. You've seen your things, you're aware of what you're feeling. And now I want you to listen. What are 3 things you can hear? Can you hear the rustling of trees outside? Are there cars driving down the street? And if you can't hear 3 things, if you're in a quiet space, what are sounds you like to hear? Your favorite song, the waves at the beach. Maybe you like, the way the cars sound when they come down the street and you're imagining how that is. So imagine 3 things that you like, or if you're already hearing them, 3 things that you can hear currently. So we have that. We're seeing things, we're feeling things, and now we can hear these things. Now, continuing to breathe, I want you to find 2 things you can smell. Is there someone cooking near you? Can you smell the shampoo in your hair? Do you have a candle on? And if you can't smell anything, what are smells you like? The scent of your favorite perfume, or maybe even freshly baked cookies, if that's something that you enjoy for the holidays. So what are 2 things you can smell? And kind of just take that in, have those senses open, and make sure you keep on breathing. And finally, what is 1 thing that you can taste? Perhaps mint from a piece of gum you were chewing, or coffee from your 2nd or 3rd cup of the day. I know we are in final season. And again, if you can't taste anything, imagine something you like. Your favorite dessert or the pasta you've been craving. And now that we are present, we are aware of our surroundings, we have those familiar senses that we enjoy around us, we can begin our session with a better sense of awareness of ourselves and our environment. So thank you for imagining with me. So now that we've done this, we're back in our space. we are going to go into our breakout rooms. So if those are ready, we will go into our breakout rooms. Mentors will come in a little after that. But if our rooms are ready, we can go ahead and get put into those.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there? Searching for the place to begin it. Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear? Standing on the line I was given.
Ashley Montoya, what are you doing here?
Hi, Sophia.
Oh my gosh, hello.
Are we all back? Okay, I'm seeing folks pop back in. Well, thank you so much for jumping in those breakouts with us. Would love to find out if there was a teen who was open to unmuting and sharing something that they learned, either a compliment that they heard or want to share their own compliment or one of your proudest moments or something that you want to be remembered for. Anybody want to jump in? No one?
I can jump in. Something
We love
that
that.
I'm discussing with my group that I really want to be remembered for is my presence and how much I care about others, and that they always feel like they can come to me if they need me.
I love that. I love that. And something I noticed in our breakout group is sometimes something that you want to be remembered for is often connected or can be connected to maybe a compliment you received. And so I'm curious if there were any compliments that folks received that lit them up or made them smile. And something we also highlighted is sometimes who the compliment comes from also makes a big difference too. So this is open to both teens and staff if you wanna share.
For me, the other day I was in a meeting. I also coach a college team for mock trial, and we were discussing something, and with them I made a point to the team about something, and someone had said to me, like, that was a really great point. And for me, like, I loved hearing that, something like an idea I thought of was a good idea. Getting that sense of validation is always a great feeling.
It is. And mock trial, tell us, break that down, because I nodded very, but I want to make sure everybody knows exactly what that is.
Yeah, mock trial is a mock trial. So all college teams get the same exact case packet about a given issue. This year it's about a plane crash. So they're suing the plane company. And so every team tries the case against each other.
Nice. And you said you're the coach of that.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, in just a few moments, we are going to have mentors who are going to be joining us. So we want to make sure that we give them a warm welcome in the chat. And also just want to thank you all. We're going to debrief a little bit just as the teens again, but want to thank you all for being with us. And like I said, we're going to welcome our mentors in just a bit. So hang tight.
had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there? Searching for the place to begin it. Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear? Standing on the line I was given. People stare and ask me why I'm here. No one seems to think that I fit in. But I don't wanna be like them. No, 'cause I don't wanna be like them. 'Cause I know that I had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away. No one knew how low I was feeling. I was scared to reach for it all, knowing I was here for a reason. But I was scared that if I tried, I'd fall. So where do I go now that I'm in it? I never thought it'd be like this. Dreamed it all my life and I did it. Thought the grass was greener than it is. 'Cause I had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away. 'Cause I had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh, 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 I'd fly away.
Hello, hello, welcome mentors. I'm Hollis Heath. I'm the New York site manager in New York City at Step Up, and I am so happy to welcome you to our fourth and final session of Fly Together. As always, our teams are excited that you're joining us. We've already spent some time together with just us, but the mentorship hour is really where the magic happens. So teams, please show love to our mentors in the chat. We want to see the reactions and the emojis. And many of our mentors are familiar faces from last session, but we have some new faces who are joining us too. So please, like I said before, show your love to them in the chat. We have so many inspiring mentors scheduled to join us today. And on the next slide, you'll see a few of them. So we'll just go to that next slide. Amazing. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I've already shared what I'm about to share with our teams, but want to make sure that I do it with you all as well. So first, we want to just, our ground rules, we want to make sure that you adjust your display name, and that piece is really, really important for the breakouts. Your name, your role today, and your pronoun. And then the second thing is going to be, please, if you're able, and that's, I want to give that shout again to the teens as well. Please turn on your cameras. It really helps us create a space of intimacy, and we're going to take a picture a little bit later. So a group class picture moment. So we really, really would love it if even just for today, you could turn that camera on. Please mute yourself. We'll ask you to unmute and share when we need that to happen. But for now, if you could mute yourself, and then also please put your, comments and positive reactions in the chat. And finally, if you have a pen or paper, that would be very, very helpful for today. And you can use the notes app on your phone if that works too, but just having something that you can jot some notes down on. And then the final thing, which I feel like I've said now 3 times, but this really is it, is if you need any support during today's session, you're going to add Jess Mara in the chat. She will be able to support you. Yes? Amazing. So, Step Up and Birdies believe that all girls should have the opportunity to pursue their dreams of success. With the right support system, women can go everywhere. And we have partnered with Birdies to present and offer Fly Together. This series that we're all part of provides the chance for girls to build relationships with their peers and mentors and gain leadership skills that will support their career pursuits. And we just want to thank Birdies for launching Fly Together with us. It's really been a beautiful, beautiful partnership. So we have a very, very packed mentorship hour planned. And so here's our agenda. We're going to start with an icebreaker and then jump into today's topic. Then we will go into today's topic of knowledge and skills. Sorry, you're like, what's the topic? It's knowledge and skills. We'll go into our activity, and then we will hear some special remarks from our guest speaker. We're gonna take that Zoom photo that I spoke about, and then we're gonna thank our mentors. And tonight, mentors, if you could just stay 5 extra minutes after the program ends for a special mentors only breakout room, we'd really, really appreciate it. So let's go over our learning objectives for today's session. Our goal is for all of you all to recognize and honor diversity, the impact, knowledge, and skills you already have. And our second goal is for you to identify your strengths and name and claim your skills, which is so, so, so important. So for today's icebreaker, we're going to be playing a game of strength spotting bingo. And I'm going to pass things over to my colleague, Chelsea, to lead us through that.
Awesome. Thank you, Hollis. So we're going to be playing, like she said, strength spotting bingo. So on this side, on the next slide, you will see a bingo card filled with 24 different strengths, words, and definitions. They are a mixture of skills, areas of knowledge, and personality traits. You will take 30 seconds to view the entire bingo card and read all 24 strengths, and then you will select your top 5. So your top 5 strengths should feel energizing, effortless, and easy to use. They should be things that you're like, yes, I am good at this. This is what I bring to the table. This is who I am. And once you select your top 5 strengths, you will then use the annotate feature on Zoom to stamp the screen. So just some quick notes on how to annotate on Zoom. If you're on a laptop or computer, you will hover over to the top of your screen to access annotate. So you will see where it says view options on the top of your Zoom screen. You will click that. And if you scroll down, you will see a button that says annotate. And when you click that, you will see that there is a stamp feature. You can click a heart, a star, a check mark, whichever you prefer to do that. If you're on your phone, then what you will do is you'll click the 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner and choose annotate. If annotate is not accessible, or you just don't want to bother with it, technology is complicated, that's totally fine. You can also submit your top 5 strengths in the chat. So right now, we're going to practice using the annotate feature together on this slide. So we want everyone to go to view options, click annotate, and I want everyone to pick a stamp, whichever you prefer, and put it yes. So I see Alyssa did it. I put a heart. Oh my God, yes, everyone has it. Perfect. So awesome. We have all of our annotates down. We will go ahead and clear the screen, and we can move in to the activity. Thank you so much. Yay. So like I said, take a moment to look over all of these, see which one you feel are your top 5. And when you feel ready, go ahead and stamp your top 5 strengths. Okay, so we came in strong with this. Everyone was like, I already know what I am. I am creative. I am funny. I love love. I love learning. Love that. We are critical thinkers. We're open-minded over here. We appreciate beauty and excellence. We're curious. We're kind. We value a sense of meaning. We like teamwork. We're brave. Yes, we have a few brave people. Shout out to you, because that would not be one of my top 5 strengths. So I love that. We have some people in the chat. Social intelligence, love, forgiveness, love of learning, humor. Yes, love this. Curiosity, prudence. We have people like almost on every single one. That's so great. Has everyone gotten their 5 strengths? Does anyone need more time to read? Because there's a lot. I feel like I would pick more than 5. I'd be like, I'm all these things, but we definitely have our strengths. Yes, bravery, love of learning, leadership, humility, and perseverance. Love that. Okay. Now, would anyone like to share out loud what theirs are, how you're feeling about your top 5 strengths? What does that look like for you? What do you think about it? What does it feel kind of looking at this board right now?
It feels a lot. Like it's a lot to take in because I'm a brave person when it comes to like trying new foods because I've been like to a lot of countries and it's like I'm brave enough to go try new foods in other countries and also just riding a donkey up the mountain like in like the ruins and it's like the grid it's like really like it has a lot of grooves and stuff going up the mountain and it's like you got to come down the mountain and it feels like you're falling. Like that's really like a sense of bravery and leadership plays a lot with that too, like like having the confidence and to like peer pressuring my friends in a good way to do this. It's a good thing to experience things and you only have one chance to experience it and just being creative and fun and like quirky and showing everybody just my beauty side and everything.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. I would not be brave enough to ride a donkey. So not one of my 5 strengths, but I love that it's one of your 5 strengths.
Yeah.
Who else? How was that looking at all of those strengths? How was it identifying yours? And we can have a teen or a mentor, whoever is feeling brave.
I'll go. Doesn't seem like anyone's going. Hi, I'm Jennifer. When you first asked the question, I started writing down some things of my strengths, and it seemed very kind of closed, like these specific things that I always know myself to be, intuitive or empathetic or resilient. But then when I saw this whole picture of things, I thought, wow, there's much more that I am that I haven't had the insight of before when I saw it laid out like that. So I think it kind of opened my mind to more possibility and more expansion of who I was that I was kind of limited to before in my thinking. So it was a great exercise. Thanks.
I love that. Yeah, I think definitely there's things that we think about ourselves and we're like, yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah.
But then we're actually given like dictionary, we're like given all these words and we're like, wait, I'm that too. And I'm that too. And you're like, oh, I'm so many things. And it feels really nice to see that.
Yeah. And I think for everyone here, just, it shows the possibility of so many more things or opportunities that could evolve based off of those other skills, or strengths that, we do have within us. So, yeah.
Yes, I love that. Can I get one more volunteer to share? How was that activity for you? Either seeing your own strengths or seeing everyone else's, whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Hi, it's Cindy.
I'll
Oh, go ahead.
You can both go, one after the other, whoever wants to go first.
I was just going to say, hi, I'm Julie. I was just going to say that I still have that built-in thing where it feels weird to say your strengths out loud, like that's embarrassing or braggy. And I felt like I wished I had the annotate option so that I didn't have to put it in the chat and therefore really own it with my name next to it and be like, yeah, I have leadership qualities. 'Cause I can say that when I'm looking at it, but I'm like, if I say it out loud, it's braggy, right? But owning it is really important.
I love that. Yes, I think it can be hard, yeah, to be like, I am these things, I'm good at this. And like thinking about going into a job interview or like going into something like that. Like you have to go in and say, you should hire me because I'm good at these things. And that could be difficult. So seeing them on the sheet can be like, no, like I am good at these things. Like, and I'm gonna list them out because even though it's hard, I know that it's true and it feels good. What about you, Cindy? I know you wanted to share.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, like Julie said, because I feel like that's so true. And I bet you a lot of people on this call feel that way, right? That like you feel too braggy when you say, I'm good at this, or whatever, but I do think it's so important for us to own it and to just speak our truth, and I think what you said, Chelsea, is like if you like there is no room for that. Like when you professionally, it's funny because I have struggled with confidence my whole life. And so I'm one of those people who doesn't want to say out loud, I'm good at this or that. But when you go for a job interview or whatever, you have to, because you can't just say I'm insecure about this or I'm not good at that. But so it's interesting when I looked at mine, what I was going to say is, it was interesting that I gravitated toward things that I've been working on lately. Like the very first thing I gravitated toward was gratitude, because that's something that I've just been really working on in terms of finding like balance in my life. And so it was really interesting to kind of just bounce around and like find those things. So like, so I've also been creative my whole life and curious, and I do think like I'm a team player. So I think things immediately jumped out at me for myself, but it was so interesting. I really loved then seeing the board, and seeing like what it's great to take that step back and just see, what other people are, and just kind of take a step outside of your own self. So I thought it was a very cool exercise.
I love that. Yeah, definitely seeing like we all definitely have more than 5 strengths, but if you're gonna name 5, they can change. What are you working on right now? What are you valuing right now? What are you thinking about right now? And it's like you're like, yeah, I'm doing really well at this right now. And I think that is my strength because I'm working towards it, I'm learning, and I feel really good about that. And I can say that. So I think that's really great.
I had one quick add. It kind of builds on what Jennifer said. It just kind of kudos, I guess, to the Step Up team for doing it that way, because one way would have been for everyone to list their 5 strengths, but to have all those strengths up there and review them and then have to, narrow it down. But as Jennifer kind of said, it's like, it makes you think of, oh yeah, I mean, maybe I'm okay at that, but maybe I could get better at that. But these are my top 5. But it broadened the mind by doing it that way. So good job.
Awesome. I love that you liked it. So yay. Okay. So with that strength spotting bingo game, it was a great way to set the tone today. We're celebrating a lot today. We're celebrating ourselves and our strengths, each other, our peers, our mentors, our mentees. So now that we've done our strength spotting bingo, we want to take some time to reflect that with paper, like pen and paper. So right now is a good time. Get out your pen and paper or a notebook or cell phone to use your notes app. And with those strengths that you identified, we want to kind of write down some responses. So we'll have some music playing, and when it's done, we'll do some more share outs, just in case we have anything else we also want to talk about. So one of the first questions is, some of our strengths are obvious to us, while others can go completely unnoticed. One way to discover these hidden strengths is to think about the things that give you a real sense of energy. So in the past week, when did you feel the most energized? And what strength do you think you were using at that time? So that's question 1. And then question 2 is, it can be challenging to recognize our own strengths. We can become so used to them that they become to feel ordinary. You know, we're just like, well, yeah, that's just something I do at school, or that's just something I do at home. Or like, yeah, I'm just a mom, or yeah, I'm just a student. Like, you know, it's just things that I have to do. And sometimes other people are better at spotting our strengths than we are because of that. What strengths or positive qualities have others shared about you? What were you doing when they noticed these strengths? So what do other people notice about you? And what did you see that you were doing when they noticed those strengths? And then 3, I want you to think about the activities or hobbies you enjoy the most. And in what ways do these activities put your strengths to use? And they could be the 5 or any strength you really identify with. So we'll take some time to write that out, and we'll come back in a few minutes.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
For the first question, does it have to relate back to the bingo kind of thing, or is it like our personal, like, you know?
Yeah, whenever you felt the most energized, if it's a strength that you didn't pick as your top 5, that's okay. Any strength you were using at that time is fine. Any time of the week you felt energized, whatever relates the most to you.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. So we'll play the music and y'all can get reflecting. Awesome. That was such a good close that I was like, whoa. Um, thank you so much for participating in the reflection. If you need more time or you didn't get to some of the questions, like this is a great activity you can always reflect on, weekly, monthly, every 6 months, every year, to really see where you are in your strengths and your energy, what's going on in your life. So really you can take these with you wherever you go. Do we have any mentors or mentees who want to share out? How did that go for you? What questions stuck out? Anything? The floor is yours.
I can share. I really liked all these exercises just because the self-reflection is always just so special and something that I think I don't take enough time to do. For the first question, something that energized me recently was that I had a really big presentation for work, and it was going to be in front of some high profile clients and sort of a big group of people, and it was going to be in person. And so much of what we've done at work lately has been remote. So it's often rare to do these presentations in person. And I get nervous energy when I know I'm going to have to talk for a long time in front of a big group of people, maybe walking around. And one thing I've learned about myself is that I'm someone that does well if I prepare. So I can sort of fake it like it seems off the cuff, but I've rehearsed it a million times. And so I went through the motions and kind of took control, and I really prepared and made note cards and practiced it out loud and practiced it on the train on my way to work and practiced it again, like a psycho in front of the mirror, did all the things. And then it felt really good when I kind of nailed the presentation. And it wasn't because it was luck or because I'm such a great presenter, but it was because I had taken the time to practice and really sort of did the things that I know I need to do to feel really good. And so it was really energizing and sort of a rush to get through it and feel like it went really well.
I love that. You used your skills, you took your time, you prepared, you gave a great presentation, and you felt good about it after, which is so great. I love that. Very proud of you for what you accomplished. Anyone else? How was that for you? Teen or mentor, feel free to share.
I'll share. And mine is a little counterintuitive in some ways. So there was something going on at work where, you know how sometimes you're approaching a task and you feel like your approach is off. Like, even if you're generally good at your job, that you're just off on something. And sometimes you can feel really self-conscious so I went to my manager and said, I need you to tell me very transparently what I could be doing better so I can self-reflect and improve. And my manager was really honest with me, and I found it really energizing, even though a little bit of a gut punch when you get, some really honest feedback, but it's the only way you can improve. Sometimes you can't always self-reflect your way to improvement. Sometimes you do need other people to say, my perception is that you could do this better. And in the end, even though it came from a place of sort of lack of confidence because of not doing great, I felt great about the fact that, I could take action on that immediately. And then that was energizing. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. You felt like things were off. You were like, let me get an opinion on someone who knows my work, knows what I'm doing, and you were able to see oh yeah, it doesn't feel good all the time when you get that, maybe you could be doing better. But when you got that, you were able to make that correction and be better. And I think that we all need that. We all need to take that initiative to do that. So
yeah, we're all in that situation at times. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that.
I'm so proud that you did that, because that could be really hard too, to take that initiative. I'm just happy that everyone's doing things and trying to be better. So I'm very happy for you. Do we have one more share out before we move on?
Well, during this reflection, it kind of made me realize a lot, because I was at the edge of me dropping this class, this film class that I have in my school, just because I feel a little like a social outcast. from everybody. I feel like socially awkward from everybody. I'm like the odd person out. And it's hard for me to like get connected into group activities because like I think most people are either scared of me or intimidated about what I can bring to the table, or and it took a toll because it's like I'm scared. It's a final exam. The final exam is tomorrow, and I'm just scared. I'm shooken up, and I have to complete the project to get a good grade in the class. And I just felt like at the end of the day, I just have to open up more so instead of just like, being closed off. And I have to more so express myself freely and open up to other people and explain to them what I need help in, or what I need, what are my needs and stuff like that. And I just felt like this like totally helped me out a lot. And the meeting the other day with the teacher, it helped me out a lot as well. But I think I might stay in the class instead of just like, totally throwing it out the way, because this is like a career. Like, this is my career that I want to do after high school. I don't know how long it might be, but like maybe like 5-10 years, and then start a whole nother career. But that's something I truly wanted to do. Film is my passion. Editing videos, putting clips together, that's all me right there. Like, I have a whole vision of how I want things to go, and then I have a very hard time executing the plan. And me socially, it's going to help me out a lot. And it starts out in high school, and it's going to continue and lead on further than that. But this reflection most definitely helped me a lot. And going into 2023 in the next 2 weeks, this is going to really help me.
Ooh, I can't. You saying 2 weeks really put it into perspective, Chelsea. That was you saying 2 weeks was like, woo, just knocked me out. We really appreciate you sharing.
I kid you not. I have 2 weeks off for school, and it feels like 2 days. Cause
it feels like 2 days.
Cause Thanksgiving break was like a whole day, and it's like I didn't really get to rest until Sunday. Then I had school the next day. Like, it's a lot.
I want you to share more in your breakout. Because we got to go into the breakouts.
Okay.
But I just appreciate. I want to acknowledge that it has been such a joy over the last 4 sessions for you to share each week and really step up and just include us into your life. And I just want to acknowledge your commitment to sharing and being a part. So, but I want to make sure that we get a chance to hear from everybody. Is that cool?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, amazing. So this is kind of a silly question, but how do we define knowledge and skills? Throughout each session of Fly Together, we've been accumulating knowledge and practicing skills, and we learned about values and what's important to us in our first session. And then we found out about mindset and what a fixed mindset and a growth mindset looks like in session 2. We discovered ways to self-regulate in session 3. And we practiced the skills of prioritizing and identifying our values. We practiced the skill of transforming fixed mindsets into growth mindsets. And we also practiced the skill of goal setting and action planning with Goop. So knowledge is the set of facts, information, or understanding about oneself, others, or the world, and the world. And skills are the learned abilities to carry out a task with intended results or goals. So in just a special message to our teens, though it may seem like the adults in your life or even the staff or mentors in this very session have their whole lives together, which I doubt you feel that way, because mentors have shared so vulnerably, so openly about where they are, even just in the reflections that we just did. The reality is we are figuring it out one day at a time, one experience at a time, and you have everything that you need to be successful. And remember, you're going to be the one that defines what success means and looks like for you. So we're about to continue the learning in our breakout sessions. And in a moment, you're gonna split up into those and be able to practice identifying the strengths and naming those skills. Julie, like you spoke about a little bit earlier, putting on that, like saying it out loud. And your breakout session is going to be led by a step up facilitator. And then we'll spend some time reflecting and doing questions later. We'll come back together as a group to thank our mentors before they slide out. But as I said a little bit earlier, in terms of need, you are really going to want a pen and paper for this next set. So please be sure to have that out. And if you're, as a reminder, if you can, we so, and this is especially to the teens, especially today, if you could turn on your camera, we'd so appreciate that. Looks like we've been pushed back into our larger group, and I thank everybody for joining the breakout groups. I hope that you enjoyed them. It just never feels like there's enough time to dig into everything, but I hope everyone feels like they had the opportunity to reflect even more and identify their strengths on a deeper level, especially as we think about going into 2023. Our mentor hour is slowly coming to a close, but we have a very exciting announcement from our friends at Birdies, our Fly Together presenting sponsor and the company that created a new category of footwear designed to take you everywhere. And today we're joined once again by Birdies co-founder and president, Marissa Sharkey. As you recall, Marissa has been mentoring with us during Fly Together sessions and spoke at our very first session about values, where you had to let some things go. So Marissa, I am going to go ahead and turn things over to you.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys are amazing at Step Up. I don't know how you do it in such a short time, but every session is emotional and really gets you thinking. I hope it does that for all the teens here, and it certainly does it for me as a mentor, and I hope for everybody else as well. Honestly, just like in a little 15-minute like side conversation with a couple of people, you know, it's emotional and really makes you think about, you know, what are my strengths today? But for me, more importantly, what words do I want to use to define myself going forward and to build into? So thank you so much for creating this program. It's so important to us at Birdies because we really believe that it takes the right support system to help women go everywhere. And that's true for our shoes, for wearing our shoes. And that's true for building a community of women who come together. And so we really want to thank all of the mentors who took time out of their busy schedules. And I know they got a lot of benefit as well. But one thing we want to share is for those mentors that showed up to all 3 sessions, you do have the opportunity to get a pair of Birdies, and we'd love for you to wear them and have them really support you in fulfilling your life's journey. And then for all of the mentees, for those teens who have attended at least 2 sessions, the same thing, we really hope to gift you a pair of Birdies, and really as a thank you for just coming here to really help support your friends, to help support the mentors, and of course yourself. So we're very proud of you. Everybody will get a certificate of completion. And it's just really been terrific to be a part of this program. And I just really thank Step Up for just creating something that even in a short time frame really helps to get people to think about where they're headed. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Marissa. So this is so exciting. Congrats to everyone for completing Fly Together. You all should be so proud of yourselves. And this is a very picture-perfect moment. I know I alluded earlier to us taking a photograph. So I think now is as good a time as any for us to get our group together for our Fly Together cohort. So as a reminder, if you're able to turn on your camera, please do, at least just for this picture. My colleague Jasmara will take a screenshot and flip through the pages of Zoom to make sure we get a picture of everyone. So let's get ready to do that. Jasmara, are you good? Okay. Do we want to do like a 1, 2, 3 moment so that we know we're ready? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. 1, 2, 3. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. This is me trying to count through my teeth. One more. 1, 2, 3 for good measure. Jessamara, are we good? Okay, I'm seeing the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. To our friends at Birdies, we have a special group of mentors and teens who are eligible to receive a pair of birdies of their choice. So if that's you and you'd like to receive your pair of birdies, please be on the lookout from an email from chelsea@sgun.org with the details for submitting a special video message. All the video prompt options will be shared with you via email after today's session. And your video can be captured on your cell phone or a Zoom recording. If you email it to us by Monday, December 19th, we'll send you a code and you can use your code to order the Birdies pair of shoes of your choice. Remember, we need it by Monday. So just make sure that you are putting that on your calendar. All right, amazing. We hope that you were able to have a wonderful membership hour. We're gonna do something different today. And I said this a little bit earlier, and ask our mentors to join a 5-minute breakout session. And that's going to be to connect, reflect, and talk about the ways that you all can keep inspiring and impacting our teens. And I just want to make sure that Aja gives me unmutes, actually, because I can't see you, Aja, to give me the green light for that mentor-only breakout room. Are we good to go on that?
Yes, the rooms are open if mentors want to start filtering in.
Amazing. Thank you so much, mentors.
Awesome. So thank you, teens, for staying on with us. We'll go ahead and stop screen so we can see everyone here. I feel like that was so awesome, getting to hear from everyone about your strengths and learning how amazing you all are as people. How are we all feeling? Got some thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Awesome. Got some good thumbs up. Great. So now that we have some time together, can I get a representative from each of the groups to share any insights they gained? How are you feeling? How did the activity make you feel? Maybe list some of your strengths. Anything that's really coming to your mind now that we've reached closer to the end of our session. And I can start with group 1. Does a team from group 1 want to share? Hollis, I know that was your group. Does anyone from your group want to share? Oh, Natalie, you unmuted. Go for it.
I'm sorry, I wasn't in that group. Sorry.
No,
Still,
go for it.
Go ahead.
I found it like very interesting how we were like just talking about our strengths. Miss Sophia, she brought up how with the strengths test, how you'll have like your stronger strengths at 7, and then you'll have like your weaker strengths or like stuff you would work on at 2. And she said that it's actually better to focus on your stronger strengths and perfecting them and mastering them. And I kind of like got this thing of like a master of one instead of like a jack of all trades. And I wanted to post to the group, like, why is that better? And I remember everybody just collectively said that, like, you know, it's okay to be good at like one thing. Like, you don't have to be superwoman. You don't have to focus on the smallest things or try and perfect your weaknesses, because that's what makes you you. Like, that's what makes you unique. And be confident in what you bring to the table, and know that strengths are complementary, that they always work together to build something else. So yeah, I found that to be very insightful.
I love that. Sophia always giving great advice. That was a great recap of everything. And I think that it's really true, you know, like when you're in spaces, people will come to you because they'll know what your strengths are, and they'll reach out to you because they know that you'll be able to help them. And they won't care that, oh, you're like a little bit weaker in this, because they know that you're good at this and that you'll support them and that you'll be there for them. And that's what matters. Who else wants to share? How are they feeling? How did it go for you?
And also to follow up what Natalie said, like with us with finding your strength, and people are so like not, they're so imperfect. You can like they in the phrase people say, oh, I practice to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. There's a practice to get better, and you can grow from getting better and better and better. And also when you, like walking in, like what you said, Chelsea, like going into a room and like, you know, finding your person with your like strengths or whatnot. There's always going to be, when you walk into a room where you have like a lot of good strengths that somebody might not else have, and then like polar opposites might connect, and that person could fill the void that you were probably lacking, and vice versa to the other person. And that can really help a person a lot in form of friendship or development of communication.
I love that. Yes, like that's what teams are. That's what teamwork is, going to the people you know can help you with something, and then offering your services and your strengths when you know that you can help with something. So I love that. Really great insight. Does anyone else have anything they want to share? How did it go for you?
I'd like to speak where so on your question on why you should, like, whether or not you should focus on your weaknesses, you honestly have your whole life to work on your weaknesses. And it's not that, oh, only do your strengths, only focus on your strengths. It's prioritize your strengths. You can still work on your weaknesses, just prioritize at what you're good at. And but you still have time to work on your weaknesses. And like, using myself an example, I consider myself a jack of all trades. Even though I'm an art student, I want to be an animator, I want to be art, I have all these little interests on the side. I know a little bit about this thing, I know a little bit about that thing. I dabble in carpentry, I do a little bit of sculpting, and I love botany. So you can focus on your strengths and without neglecting your weaknesses.
I love that. And definitely something that I think we highlighted in our group is that your strengths can be things that you love. And I think something I like highlighted was like, we had mentioned like highlighting your strengths doesn't mean that you're full of yourself. It means that you're full of love. It means that you're full of care for things that you love and you appreciate. And the reason that they're your strengths is because you put work towards them. So you have your strengths, the things that you're really good at, and then you have all the other little things that interest you that you're working on that help you become the person that you are, which are really cool. Can I have one more person to volunteer if you want before we move on to the next thing? Anyone? No worries. If not, we gave a lot of insight, great conversations. Y'all are like using your words like pros, reflecting like pros. I'm like, dang, y'all really should have been the mentors today with all the reflections you gave back, which was so great. So appreciate you always being so present and participating. So thank you so much. So of course, now we will be moving into our feedback and our polls for the day, like always. So thank you so much for the time you're given. And now we have our poll question for you that we will be launching in 1 second. And then it should be up now. Does everyone see the poll question?
I'm sorry, but I have a question about the birdie shoes.
Yeah, of course. What's the question?
So the only thing I know is that if you were in all the sessions, you received them, but what I don't know is how do we receive them afterwards?
Yes, great question. So what's going to happen is I will be emailing you all the information again. We would love if y'all could send a video just of yourself. It doesn't have to be super long. It can be recorded on your phone or on a Zoom, super casual, letting us know how you felt about the program, what you liked. And then we will be providing you with a code, so kind of like a coupon code. And you can go onto the Birdies website, pick the shoe that you like, your size, everything, put the code in, and it'll show that it's free. And then it'll get shipped to your house.
Okay.
So we'll give you the code and it'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So we have a few people answering our poll. So the question is, after the session, I understand how to name and claim the skills I have acquired from different life experiences. Much less than before, less than before, equally as much as before, more than before, or much more than before. So I will give it a few more moments just to make sure everyone answers. Okay, awesome. And thank you so much. So in addition to these polls, we also have a short feedback form for y'all. We're gonna give y'all some time to fill it out. And like always, we give this to you to make sure we can see what we're doing right, what we can improve on, and see what it is that you learned from today. So we'll play some music and give you some time. Awesome. Thank you so much. I always feel weird coming in after the music ends. Thank you so much for completing those. We appreciate it. It's important to gain your feedback and it really helps us to improve our programming for y'all. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Following this, we want to let you know to don't forget to join our digital community. Coming up in the next slide. It's a place where you can get one-on-one access to mentorship anytime, connect with Step Up mentors, and find additional Step Up resources and content. If you would like to join, the code is in the chat. And last but certainly not least, our contact information. If you have any questions about our events or want to learn more about how to get involved here with us at Step Up. And that's a wrap. We are done with Fly Together. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us. We appreciate you taking the time to be here with us, whether you were here for one session or all four. We thank you for being here, for taking the time, for being present, for participating. It means a lot to us that you are willing to take the time to go on this journey. And hopefully we will see you in the new year at our next upcoming event. So thank you. And everyone have a wonderful holiday.